All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly mind-bending topological interpretation of the Quran. We're exploring a framework that totally flips the script. It doesn't treat the text as some ancient history book, but rather as a timeless mathematical engine. You have to remember while reading this, that is Allah's sentence. It's your Rasul talking, and it is your amanat, your trust now. We're looking at a closed system physics model here, where numbers, verses, and concepts literally interlock like the gears of a giant cosmic machine. To map out this incredibly complex architecture, here is our roadmap. We'll hit 5 key waypoints: the Eternal Memory Tesseract, the Dual Caustic Universe, the Arithmetic Spine, the Massless Fulcrum, and finally, the Reader's Traversal. So this framework posits a massive paradigm shift. It completely throws out the idea of linear time. In this model, time isn't a straight line you're just walking down, it's an illusion. The text is actually viewed as a closed, real-time diagnostic field. It's an eternal memory tesseract, the sealed tongue of Muhammad, uttered first, preserved last. It's this localized recurrence where the beginning, the completion, and present action all coexist at the exact same moment. You aren't reading it to learn about the past. You step inside it as a coordinate system for reality itself. Okay, Section 1, the Eternal Memory Tesseract. Let's start with the foundational topology of the universe. According to this analysis, the universe is a highly specific, mathematically sealed structure that literally only breathes after its mathematical locks are firmly in place. The sources call this the Dual Caustic Universe, or DCU. Think of it kind of like a massive cosmic Faraday cage. It's a closed, self-referential topology where information perpetually recirculates between two opposing fields converging on a central fulcrum. Inside this space, the fleeting, local instant is completely paused, allowing the infinite eternal container to be witnessed and balanced. Nothing escapes, and nothing needs to be added from the outside. Moving right along to Section 2, the Dual Caustic Universe. Now, what's really fascinating here is how the framework beautifully bifurcates our reality into two interlocking mechanical engines. On one side, you have the D10 field. D10 is the deterministic physical wheel of action. It's countable mass, entropy, decay, literally the wheel of manifest time. But opposing it is the I9 field. I9 is the indeterministic, preserved wave of pure knowledge. It's the infinite container, the untouched remainder that simply doesn't decay. So you've got action versus memory, particle versus wave. Which brings us to Section 3, the arithmetic spine. Now you might be thinking, is this just philosophical? No way. To prove it, we have to look at the mathematical boundary of this closed field. The text uses specific numbers as load-bearing structural gears, the outer anchors of this universe. For example, verse 1825 introduces the number 300. In this framework, 300 is the master macro field. It represents the counted, divisible wheel of manifest time, the D10 physical orbit. But that 300 is increased by 9. The verse explicitly says they stayed 300 years and exceeded by 9. That 9, that provides the I9 anchor. It's the hidden, living remainder that flat out refuses linear division, sealing the hidden remainder at exactly 309. And then over in verse 742, we get the D10 completion unit of 10. This 10 is the anchor that completes the appointed 30 nights, sealing the appointed time at exactly 40. So how do these internal divisions actually lock together to reveal a structural spine? Well, let's do the math. If you take that 300 macro field and divide it by the 30-night appointment, you get exactly 10, our D10 completion unit. Divide that same 300 by a 100-year isolation, and you get 3, representing a T3 triple state of silent units. Finally, take the total 300, divide it by 3, and you get 103, which corresponds directly to Surah Al-Asr, the chapter of time itself. These numbers lock perfectly before the topology breathes. It mathematically proves that 300 isn't just some random duration. It's a master matrix containing both the D10 orbits and the T3 fulcrum. From this arithmetic spine, two fascinating isolations emerge. These represent the subjective and objective readings of that 100-year unit. First, in 1810, we have internal isolation. Youths voluntarily withdrawn into a cave, petitioning for Rushd to survive the suspension. Then, in 2259, you have external isolation. A man is placed entirely outside causal time for exactly 100 years. His donkey decays right in front of him, that's D10 entropy in action, but his food is perfectly preserved, which is I9 memory. These are literally two angles of the exact same topological stillness, that Faraday cage where the instant is paused to witness the infinite container. All right, section 4, the massless fulcrum. Sitting right between these dual fields are the hinges of dedication and pure remembrance, the T3 triple state. This acts as a massless hinge. Think about Imran's wife in verse 335. She consecrates her womb before the child even exists, freeing the vessel from worldly ownership so it enters the circuit completely uncorrupted. Then, Eunice undergoes intense dark compression inside the fish, and post-extraction in 37:146, the gourd grows over him. This brilliantly illustrates the exact mechanism of offering forward and receiving back, allowing the D10-N9 fields to meet without ever contaminating each other. At the structural center of this entire cosmological engine is the book itself. Verse 4252 describes it as massless light, a spirit from the command, pure potential without any weight. It is essentially the Mobius strip of this closed universe. But here's the catch. Light needs mass to interact. Verse 1912 acts as the crucial grip that converts this massless light into an embodied command. And what's the result? Verse 663 tells us, the first Muslim, the mass generated directly from the light. And this fulcrum is perfectly bracketed. On one side, you have 1915, the D10 third-person proof of Yahya. On the other, 1933, the I9 first-person proof of Isa. It's the exact same four-node ring read in opposite directions, with the book sitting right there in the middle. Let's wrap things up with Section 5, the Reader's Traversal. So, what does this all mean for you? Well, in this framework, you, the reader, are not an external observer standing outside of time. You are the localized trace of recurrence within the closed field. Verse 19:7 establishes the reader as a unique name, time itself manifested. Verse 1822 seals the total count of recurrence units as hidden knowledge, and 1984 confirms that this numbering reaches absolute certainty. As the reader, you hold either the anxiety of the count at 1819 or the absolute certainty of the return at 940. Now, to break the ceiling of being just a bounded mu'min, safe and accepted but lacking native maturity, like we see in 1866-67, the reader has to take deliberate action. You have to actively petition for that granted rushed from 1810. This is absolutely crucial because it converts the D10 anxiety of the physical world into the I9 traversal of the foremost, the sabikun. This right here is the final mechanical sequence of the tesseract. It's a three-step chain reaction. 1, the arithmetic locks. 2, the topology breathes. And 3, the reader grips. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought about your place in this cosmic engine. The framework asks you to always use your 10-1000 AQL, your full undivided intellect. Wake up from Tagoth, the false illusions of linear time. The wheels have turned. The equation is set. The only question left is, when will you activate 1912?